Hi, today we're going to tell you about our exciting game, Fortifications of Moroni, and how to play. This is a 2 to 4 player board game that'll be great fun for your family. Amalickiah has become king of the Lamanites and has sworn to conquer the Nephites and make them his slaves. His army of Lamanites are on their way to attack the Nephite cities. Chief Judge Pahoran and Chief Captain Moroni have raised the title of liberty and called upon you to fortify the cities of the Nephites against these attacks, and to protect and defend the lives and liberties of your people. You will be assigned to fortify cities of the Nephites while under attack by the Lamanites. To win the game, you must complete the fortification plans for Nephite cities that add up to 100 fortification points and have the most points at the end of the final round. Let's get started. We're going to start by setting up the board. First, take the Moroni's army marker and place it on the capital city of Zarahemla. Next, you're going to give each player a set of colored wall segment pieces and a scoring marker. You're also going to place the dice and these fire markers out near the board. You're going to take the wall segment cards, shuffle them, and put 5 of them face up on the side of the board. This is the supply station. You're going to take the reinforcement cards, shuffle them, and place them next to the board. Take the fortification plan cards, shuffle them, and give 3 to each player. You give 5 wall segment cards and a gameplay instruction card to each player. Your goal in the game is to completely fortify or protect each city. Each city is made up of wall plans that together make a fortification plan. Gideon, for example, has 2 wall plans, an archer wall plan shown in purple and a defender wall plan shown in red. To completely fortify Gideon, you'll need to place wall segment pieces on each one of these wall segments. To build a wall segment piece, you are going to need the card that matches the color of the wall plan and the wall segment piece that you're trying to build. 1 card equals 1 wall segment piece. So for example, this 1 card is going to build 1 wall segment piece. The colors of your wall segments do not relate to the colors on the board. They're just the individual color for each player. So in order to build this city and to completely fortify it from attacks, you would need to have 5 purple cards and 4 red cards. Each city has a point value shown in this white hexagon and an attack number shown in the yellow hexagon. These point values will add up and be shown on the scoring track around the board. As we said at the beginning, the 100-point value is what you're trying to get to. So you may want to consider which 2 cities will get you to 100 points. For example, Gideon has 56 and Antionum is 50. That would be 100 points. So it's something to consider when choosing your starting city. Which one's going to get you to 100 points and over 100 points. To determine your starting city, every player is going to roll the dice. The player with the highest roll is going to get to pick their starting city first. At the beginning, each player was given 3 fortification plan cards. Your starting city has to be chosen from these 3 cards. If I was the player with the highest roll and got to go first, I would choose Gideon. I would indicate it by putting my scoring marker on Gideon, keeping the Gideon fortification plan card, and returning the other 2 cards to the bottom of the fortification plan deck. The next player, clockwise, gets to pick from their 3 cards, and on until everybody has identified their starting city. When all the players have chosen their starting cities, you're going to begin play with the player who rolled highest first. Once you've completed at least 1 wall segment piece on your starting city, you can also build to any city that is connected by 1 road to your starting city. You are not allowed to build on another player's starting city.
Only 1 player can build on each city. Once a player has placed a segment on a city, it is reserved for that player. The only way another player could build on that city is if all segment pieces were destroyed.
Now I'm going to explain the game turn, which is shown here on your gameplay instruction card. There are 3 parts to the game turn. The first part is to take 3 actions. The second part is to move your point marker if you've scored any points. And the third part is to roll the dice to determine if the Lamanites attack or other special actions occur. The first part of the turn, you have 3 options for actions. Actions are drawing a card from either the deck or the supply station, building, which means to place wall segment pieces on a wall plan, or resupplying, which means taking all 5 of the supply station cards away and putting down 5 new cards. You are also allowed to buy a reinforcement card, which does not count as an action, and trade with other players or with the deck, depending on what your trade is going to be. Let me explain how a build works. Any number of the same colored cards on the same wall plan counts as one action, one build action. So for example, on this purple archer wall plan, one action could be placing one wall segment, which would be one card, or 2, 3, up to 5 would all count as one build action. Once you've finished all of the wall plans on a city, it is considered fortified and is now invulnerable to attack. At that point, you take your scoring marker and you award yourself the points shown here in the city. As you add more points, you continue to move your scoring marker around the scoring track. Reinforcement cards can be purchased on your turn. They do not require an action to purchase or to play, but you can't play them till after the turn you purchase them. It costs 3 wall segment cards of any color to buy a reinforcement card. Reinforcement cards give you the ability to do extra special things during your turn, and they are all explained on each card. You're also allowed unlimited trading on your turn. You can trade with other players for wall segment cards or reinforcement cards. You just can't give cards to other players. Trades do not count as actions. You are also allowed to trade 3 of any of the same color card in with the deck for a card of another color that you need, except for wild cards. At the end of your turn, when you finish using all of your actions, trading with other players, buying reinforcement cards or using reinforcement cards purchased on a previous turn, and moving your scoring marker if you've scored points, you're going to roll the dice. On your gameplay instruction card at the bottom, it will show you what each of the rolls means. A roll of 1 means that Lamanites attack you on your most complete unfortified city. A roll of 2 means the Lamanites attempt to attack all other players, and you're going to roll again to see where the Lamanites attack the other players. This number is going to correspond with this yellow attack number for the other players. Again, not you, just the other players. A roll of 3, you get to draw an extra wall segment card from the deck. A roll of 4, you get to add a wall segment to your city, any city of your choice. A roll of 5, you get to draw an extra wall segment card from the supply station. And a roll of 6 means you move the Moroni's army marker from the capital city to whatever city you want. If you roll a 1, the attack damage works like this. If the wall plan is complete, like this purple segment is, you lose 1 wall segment piece. If the wall plan is incomplete, you lose 2. So all wall plans in a city are attacked. So in this case, this city would have lost 2 reds because the red wall plan was incomplete, and 1 purple because the wall plan was complete. If you roll a 2, the Lamanites are going to attack the other players. You're going to roll the dice again, and whatever number shows up on that dice, you're going to look for cities that have in this yellow hexagon that same number. For example, Zarahemla has a 4. If someone was building here, they would receive the same damage as a normal attack. 1 wall segment from a completed wall plan, or 2 wall segments from an incomplete wall plan. If you roll a 6, you get to move Moroni's army marker to a city of your choice, probably your city. Once you move that there, that city is protected from all Lamanite attacks until that marker is moved to a different city. Also, any player with more than 7 cards has to provide half of those cards to move the army. So if you're over 7 cards, you have to get rid of half of your cards and put them in the discard pile. If a city is attacked, either on a 1 roll or a 2, you place a fire marker on that city. That city is considered to be on fire and cannot receive additional attack or damage until the players whose city it is has another turn in order for them to repair it. Once your turn comes around, If you repair your city or if you don't, the fire marker is removed and it is now vulnerable to attack again. When one player passes 100 points, for example, if yellow finishes this last wall segment piece and scores these additional 50 points, they go to 106. They've passed the 100-point marker. Once that happens, the final round begins. In the final round, all players get one additional turn to try to finish their cities and score points, including the player who triggered the final round. Any reinforcement cards obtained on this last turn may be played immediately, and any additional points earned during the final round are scored immediately, and players move their scoring markers. Players are also add points for incomplete cities during their turn. You can see that description in the rules as to how to score incomplete cities and wall plans. The reason why this final round is important is, as you can see here, the blue player is at 72 points, but they only have one segment left to finish Noah. That would put them at 102. You can also see that red may also finish with one more turn and score rapidly those additional 62 points. At the end of that final round, whatever player has the most points wins the game. Those are the basic rules on how to play Fortifications of Moroni. We hope you enjoy the game. There is an expansion pack available that allows you to play 6 players on the same board. Look for the link to that and to the game in the description below. Thanks for watching.